In this lesson, we'll work on implementing the counter twist systems for the thighs. Now the first thing we'll need to do is figure out the twist axis of our thigh bone. So with that selected, we can go ahead and switch our rotate gizmo to gimbal. And now let's start to move this around, and clearly that's the x-axis, right? Let's make sure we leave this at XYZ, because you can see the thigh bone is going to move quite a bit, and we want to make sure that the x-axis is always going to be our twist axis. Alright, so once we figure that out, the next step is to basically go in and create an expose node so we can expose the twist axis. I'll also show you an issue that we'll run into. Let's head over to Create. Underneath Helpers, we'll create an Expose TM object. Once it's been added, let's go ahead and move over to our Modify panel. I'm going to go ahead and check its display settings. Right now it's set to Axis Tripod with a size of 5. I'd like to go ahead and use this for now. If we need to change it, we most certainly can. But this should be easy enough to select. Let's go ahead and align this to our thigh bone. Alright, that's going to work out great. From here, what I'd like to do is go ahead and link it to our pelvis bone. So we're just linking to the parent of the bone that we're about to expose. We can now go ahead and rename this object, so that's going to be Expose L Thigh. Great. Now let's go ahead and make sure it gets added to our hidden layer. Alright, sweet. So once we've done that, feel free to freeze its transforms. And then it's time to expose the thigh bone. So watch this. Let's go ahead and take care of that. We'll scroll up to the top. We'll expose the thigh bone. And now let's go ahead and scroll down to take a look at our local space. Take a look at how messy these values are. Because right now, this object is parented to an object that doesn't quite share that same space. That's why we have all of these offset values. Let me go ahead and show you a way around that. What we'll do is go ahead and create a point helper. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that the display is set to box. We'll add it to the scene, and now let's go ahead and align it to our thigh bone. Sweet. This is very important because this is how we'll zero out the local space of this bone object. So this is going to be the thigh bone's new parent. Let's go ahead and choose OK. Now let's head over to our Modify panel and bring down the size of this object, maybe to about a value of 5, so it's easy enough to select. Wonderful. So at this point, I'd like to rename the object. That's going to be PT0, because we're using it to zero out the local space of the thigh bone, right? So that's PT0L thigh. Nice. Now from here, what I'd like to do is go ahead and make sure it gets added to the hidden layer. And now let's go ahead and link it to the thigh bone's parent, which is the pelvis. After we've done that, we can go ahead and freeze its transforms. Now let's go ahead and link our thigh bone to its new parent, the helper. Watch this. When we go back to our expose node, you can see our local space values are now zeroed out. How cool. So this is going to be much easier to set up now. It's now time to use wire parameters to set up the counter twist system. So with our expose node still selected, let's go ahead and right click and choose wire parameters. That's going to be Object, Local, Euler, X. Now we know that the twist axis of our muscle system is the z-axis. So that's what we'll need to search for. Let's go ahead and select our helper. That's going to be Transform, Rotation 0 Euler, Z. Alright, sweet. So that should load in. If it doesn't, just go ahead and grab the object to load in and choose Refresh, and then you can go ahead and navigate to the controller that you'll need to tie down. Let's go ahead and do a direct connection here. So that's Local Euler X into the z-axis. We'll use the lower arrow and choose Connect. It's now time to test this out. So as we start to rotate our thigh bone, take a look. There's our counter twist system working very well. How cool. So we get this really nice twist distribution down the thigh. Fantastic. I'll use Transform to 0 to bring it back. Oh, and it does not go back when we use that. The reason why is because we did change the space of our thigh bone. So I'll go ahead and make sure to undo to bring it back to its default position. And now we could always just go in and use Freeze Transform, not Transform to 0, but Freeze Transform to make sure it does not move. You'll see that when we start to rotate, the counter twist system is still going to work. And as we start to rotate, if we use transform to 0 now, it'll pop back. Very good. Okay, sweet. Well, that's going to be it for this lesson. In the next lesson, what I'd like to do is go ahead and walk you through the right half. I'll go ahead and show you anything that might have changed, just so that you're not left in the dark, but more or less the steps will be the same.